Greetings and welcome to the channel. Today I'm at St John the Baptist in Berkswell, which is Warwickshire near Coventry, and this is a church that is in Simon Jenkins' book of 1,000 churches. Apparently I think it's got the oldest Norman Crypt in the country. It's a very interesting shape, and the actual entrance is quite interesting as well. And it says it's open, so that's brilliant. What do you think? Do you like a timbered south porch or not? Interesting shaped clock on the tower. I mean sundial. I'll just zoom in on it. The clock's to the right. I don't know if that's old or modern. I'm struggling to find details for it, but it looks modern and seems to have a German sign on the bottom. I think we'll have a little wander around the exterior and then we're heading. Well, certainly from this vantage point, you can see the many stages that have been built onto it. I imagine the tower's 15th century. I'm sure we'll find out more when we get inside. You'd think I've got a neck like an owl to be able to twist all the way round. We're just approaching the southeast chancel window, which is Norman. I just noticed the cardboard table on high. They look to have been restored. Given two of the corbels have a different tone to their colours, I should imagine these are the restored ones. I understand this is the exterior of the Norman wall. Indeed, this is correct. I completely forgot to look at the corbels on the northeast side, as my mind was preoccupied. Now somewhere here is the grave of Miss Maud Watson, who apparently was the first Lady Wimbledon Champion. I think it was in 1886. I'm just hoping I can find her grave. If I can't, maybe there'll be some indication inside. It's meant to be near the entrance, I think. Alas, I could not find her grave. The door is open. Please just give it a push. Indeed we shall. Hopefully we're not going to go through the small door. Oh, it opens quite easily. Interesting font. Looks completely wooden. I'm so touchy-feely, I can't help myself. As you can see, there's a large gallery area above. So much to take in, sometimes I haven't a clue where to start. And that's all above ground. Of course, there's a crypt here, said to be among the finest in the country. Of course, we'll get to that later. I like the way they've embedded the organ in the archway. Very tidily done. The pulpit's quite low set. Got some nice little decorations on it. Plenty of diamond-shaped wooden hatchments hanging on the walls. To those who don't know, hatchments are funeral tablets, and they often related to deceased rich people and were hung outside their houses until the mourning period was over, after which time they were hung in the church. We now enter the Norman chancel, passing the scalloped towers. Lovely carvings here. I'll have a better look at those in a moment. I think the circular patterns on the floor are very tastefully done. I really like them. Here behind the altar is, of course, the Norman window. It's a bit stiff. I was hoping to show you all the misery chords. However, they're really quite stiff, and I was a little bit fearful of damaging them. I imagine they are pretty robust. I imagine also, if the weather's got in them, the wood might have expanded, and therefore they've become a little bit harder to lift. I'll give this one a go. Oh, this one comes quite easily. It's not so bad. I just lifted a few of them so you could get some idea. The pictures will be at the end. Look at these lovely wood carvings in the choir, a lovely addition to the singing. These are interesting shaped pews. They're not usually curved like this. And as I've already stated, it's most unusual to have a wooden font. We're now heading towards the crypt. I understand it's permissible to enter, so I shall. Let there be light. Are you as excited as I am? It's very cold down here. Ah. Wow. How amazing is this? There's a window through here. I wasn't quite sure what it was showing us. It's a very interesting atmosphere down here, and a beautiful echo. Well, to think this has been here for 1,000 years fills one with a certain amount of awe. And paintings above, now faded. The font itself doesn't look too old, too crisply carved. So I imagine it's Victorian or Edwardian. That's a guess. There's some modern art here. I can hear people talking about some old stonework. I started heading out of the place, but found myself turning around and treading this old way again. I hope you don't mind me retracing my steps. There's quite a few graves inset in the crypt floor, but they're not that old. well, 1764s and 1750, I suppose it's pretty old, but not Norman anyhow. I must make sure I turn the lights off. I thought it would be fun to show you the crypt with the lights off. It's spooky. And that was the way to the crypt, of course. Crosses within crosses. Well, I've just had a very interesting conversation with a couple of guys, and one of the things they happened to point out, which I was sort of aware of, but hadn't noticed any, there's a mouse here, but there's 9 mice. Apparently the furniture carver who did a lot of the woodwork in here between 1926 and 1946, apparently that was his symbol that he used. That's the only one I've seen. It was only because these 2 guys pointed it out that I got to see it at all. Anyhow, I'll leave it there. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Well, I haven't been able to find the grave of Miss Maud Watson, who was a tennis player who actually won Wimbledon in 1884, not 1886. But I have located her father's grave. He was a reverend here and lived in the rectory around about the time she won it. Wayside preaching cross. The stone-based steps predate the church and are probably Saxon. The cross itself is medieval. To the fallen. This is the rectory where the Reverend Watson lived, which is right by the church here. Also next to the church is Berkswell Well. A Saxon leader, Berkswell was reputed to have been baptised here in the 8th century. This reliable source of clean water was almost certainly the reason for the initial settlement of Berkswell. The well is fed by several springs and then flows above ground to join the River Blythe,